in a quiet corner of the universe, where light drifts slower than time itself, there was a floating observatory known as the Halo of Dawn. It wasn't made of metal or stone, but of crystal and silence, suspended between two sleeping stars. Inside, an old astronomer lived, and with him, his daughter. Every night, the girl would wake before her father. She would walk barefoot across the glowing floor panels and press her hands against the great dome of glass above her bed. Out there, stars blinked like eyes ancient, watchful, alive. Some pulsed in soft blue, others shimmered in quiet red. Some sang in colors she could not name. Her father used to say, "Every star has a story, my dear, and every story begins with someone who dares to look up." So she looked. Every night. Every dawn. Her father, the astronomer, spent his life mapping the unseen. He charted constellations that no one on Earth had ever named. He spoke of galaxies like old friends, and nebulae like whispered poems. But as the years passed, his hands grew slower, and his eyes dimmed. One night, under the shimmer of a comet's tail, he took his daughter's hand. "Promise me something," aside softly. "When I am gone, keep looking up. The stars will guide you home, even when you don't know where home is," she promised. Then one evening, the observatory grew still. The telescopes stood unmoving. The light panels dimmed. Her father had fallen asleep beneath the great star chart, and this time he did not wake. The girl, no longer a child, not yet grown, stood in the echo of his last breath. Around her, the universe continued to hum gentle, endless, indifferent. She didn't cry. She simply looked up, through the glass, through the clouds of dust and distance, and whispered, "Then show me, Father. Show me how to keep looking." Years passed. The observatory became hers. She studied. She listened. She watched. One night, she discovered something unusual, a star that moved, not like others, not bound by constellations. It pulsed, as if calling to her. She recorded its rhythm, its light, its whisper, and soon she realized it was a message, a pattern, a voice. Her father's old notebooks contained a similar coda celestial compass he'd never finished decoding. It pointed somewhere far beyond the known galaxies, a destination hidden inside light itself. The daughter prepared a small vessel, shaped like a teardrop of glass. It ran on starlight and silence. Before she left, she wrote in the observatory's log, "For every child who looks up and wonders, there is always a light waiting for you, even if you must sail beyond sleep." "Do you find it?" The engines whispered awake. The observatory doors opened like eyelids, greeting dawn. She drifted forward, slow, steady, into the ocean of stars. She passed through ribbons of nebulae that shimmered like silk, through fields of frozen comets that glowed like lanterns, through the remains of long-dead worlds, where dust told stories of forgotten suns. Sometimes she thought she heard voices, echoes of her father's teachings, laughter, lullabies. Or maybe it was the universe itself, remembering him too. Her ship's glass walls reflected her face beside his, a memory of light. She whispered, "If you're still watching, Father, I'm almost there." Then she saw it. The moving star was no star at all. It was a gateway, a shimmering circle of light that pulsed like a heartbeat. Her ship approached. The controls flickered. Instruments sang in frequencies her ears could barely hear. And then, silence. Inside the light, she saw millions of threads, each connecting one life to one star. Some bright, some dim, some fading, some newly born. And she understood. Every soul was a constellation. Every story, a flicker in the fabric of eternity. Her father's thread was there too, glowing softly, waiting for her. As she stepped out of a vessel, she wasn't walking anymore. She was floating weightless, breathless, at peace. A familiar voice echoed in the brightness. "You came, my little stargazer." She turned, and there he was, not as she remembered him, old and frail, but as he had been when she was small, strong, kind, his eyes full of light. "I told you," he said, smiling. "The stars would guide you home." She tried to speak, but her voice melted into the wind of light. He touched her hand. "You've done beautifully, but your story isn't finished yet." He pointed to a distant horizon, a sea of sleeping stars. "Go on. Tell their stories." That's what astronomers do. When she awoke, she was back in her observatory. The ship rested quietly. Outside, dawn was blooming, soft pink, gentle blue. On her console, a new map shimmered, a gift from the light itself. Hundreds of new constellations, each named with a whisper from the universe. And beneath it, a message written in her father's handwriting. "You kept your promise." She smiled, tears falling like stardust. Then she turned her telescope toward the sky and began to chart again. Years would pass. Her hair would silver like the light she once chased. But still, every night, she would sit beneath the dome and whisper the same words. Every star has a story, and every story begins with someone who dares to look up. And somewhere, in the quiet heart of the cosmos, a father and daughter watched the same sky, separated by distance, united by light. Good night, little dreamer. The stars are watching over you.